Do you want to know how to skyrocket your business growth? Today, I'm going to share with you key things that helped me grow my business. And it's exactly how I did 275K my first year. And these were things that weren't taught to me. It was stuff that I learned along the way. My name is Nickia. I did 275K my first year. And now I teach others to do the same and start their online store, choose their product, choose their niche, and get going. You need to believe in what you're selling, because if you don't, who will? One of the things that will hold you back is if you constantly second guess yourself and you're like, I don't know, I'm not sure, and you're constantly always asking yourself those unsure questions, it will hold you back. People can see through that. And so when you believe in your product, others will. When I didn't believe in what I was doing, it actually cost me sales. I was so busy being worried about what if this happens? What if this doesn't happen? I stayed in that place for so long that I actually lost sales because of it. I made it my ultimate goal and journey to tell myself, okay, so the next time this happens, we're just gonna go for it. Belief is something that you build over time. It's something that the more you do more of it, the more you will get better. The more you'll start to have more belief in what you're doing, especially when you start seeing it work. Understand your competition. You can't be in fear of looking at your competition because you're gonna feel inferior. So when I say scrape, is that you're going through their people's stores, you're going through what they're doing, especially if they're in a similar space that has your ideal customers. You need to even research, because one of the things that I learned is that you don't actually know everything. We believe we do, but we don't know everything, and we could always learn something from what others are doing. Now, I'm not saying to copy straight up, but you can learn so much just by researching and making this a part of your routine and seeing what your competition is doing. And the thing about it is that when you keep track of this, you can then see where you can improve. You can see what you can do better, what they're not doing, and you might even get ideas, like out of the box ideas, and saying, hey, like, I noticed that they don't do this, and I noticed that if I did this, it would skyrocket. Try new methods and be open to learning new things. Try new tools and softwares for wherever it makes sense. When I was running out of ideas of where to tell my team to look, or when I wanted to get more out of the box and basically get ahead of the competition, I started sourcing new software. I remember I ended up, they're no longer in business, but I ended up finding a software at the time that was for keywords. And what it would do is, based on the keywords you would input, it would give you like multiple ideas. And because of that initiative, I was able to find more products on Amazon. I was able to expand my business because of that. Because sometimes you can get in a place where you're like, okay, so I need new ideas, and what do I do next? So I think the whole point of this is that you need to be solution oriented. So if you want to always be ahead, if you always want to be making sure that you're most efficient in your business, is that you always have to be open to new softwares. This has helped me so much. This has expanded my business so much. When I started Amazon and I was drop shipping on there, I was doing it all manually. I was like, okay, what else can we do here? And at the time, my friend found a new idea, then he shared it with me, and then we expanded from there. And so the point of this is that you should be always open to finding better and new ways to save you time. Because we found this software, it saved us so much time. It was actually called Tactical, and it saved us so much time because when you would do it manual, it actually would take longer. Where this, you can just set the software and then you are good to go. And I was able to find 2 to 5 times more products than I did when we were doing it manually. And it was way better. And it meant that I can set higher goals for the team. And it meant that there was more opportunities for more sales. Imagine if you don't ever stay open to what's out there. I also engulfed myself in the community. So I would watch a community, I would see what new things they're trying. I would see what they're suggesting, and that really helps. It's always good to be within a community of people who are in the same space. It doesn't have to be the same niche, but you never know what you might learn, because some people might share things about their sales. Some people might share about a solution that they some people might share about a problem that they overcome, things that they've learned. You just never know, and you're able to ask them questions. So I think it's good to be within that community, so your eyes are always open to see, okay, like what's going on, like what's new, what's happening, and all that good thing. If you think this video is helpful so far, definitely click the like button and text YouTube to the number description. And this is where I have a next level training on how to start a successful store and get the sales that you're looking for. And I honestly believe this: if I wasn't always open to learning, I wouldn't be where I am today. The coach only taught me so much. He only taught me enough to get going. It wasn't enough for long term. Just because other people are not doing it doesn't mean you shouldn't. It doesn't mean that you can't look for a solution. In whatever industry you're in, especially in e-commerce, or if you're building a business, there's always going to be a certain way that everyone does it, but it doesn't mean that you have to be doing it the same way. There's always a better solution, right? Once you're open to it, there's always something better. And even if you don't find something right away, as long as you're open to it. And because there was a lot of things that I didn't accept as the final solution, where I then found a solution and was like, guys, it ain't always that way. When everyone was saying, oh, it's saturated, there's no profits, I was making profit in my Amazon store. Don't believe all the stigmas you hear about in the industry. I wasn't scared to spend money. If you want to grow in your e-commerce store or in business, you need to learn how to not be scared to spend money. As they always say, scared money don't make money. And one of the reasons why I grew is because I was always open to spend when necessary. Because you can only go so far when you're doing free. Free is great, but like I said, not everyone shares everything when it's free. So this could go for a tool, this could be going for a coach, but you always want to have that mindset of like, okay, I'm not scared to make money if I need to spend the money to get me to the next level, if it's going to get me to get to the place I want to be faster. Spending money is worth it if you're going to get there faster and increase your income and make back the money you put out there. I couldn't have grown my store without delegating. If I was always afraid to spend money to grow a team, it would have kept me at a capped level. It would have kept me at always making a 4-figure profit month. And I don't think I would have been able to expand to 10-figure months, because a lot of the e-commerce model I was using was all volume, right? Especially for retail arbitrage. The more products you have, the more money you make. And when you're doing this by yourself, you can only do so much, because there's still other aspects. You still have to fulfill orders. You still have to be sourcing, because when you stop sourcing, things dry up. One of the best things I ever did was spend money on a team. Now, it's not going to be the easiest thing. I'm not going to sugarcoat it and be like, yeah, it's going to be so easy, because you're going to get kickback. Your mind is going to be like, why are you wasting your money? Like, you shouldn't waste it. You shouldn't spend your money on this. Like, you could do it yourself and make all the profit for yourself. But the real truth is, there's something so beneficial if you learn how to delegate and spend that money in the right way. And one of the key things I learned is that you have to believe that when you spend money in the right way, that you're gonna get it back tenfold. So I spent money on my team and I would make back like 5-10 times the profit back. That was well worth it. But you see, if you're holding on to the money, you can still make money, but you have to recognize that you're gonna sacrifice more. You're gonna sacrifice more of your time, maybe the amount of money you can make, and what your capacity is. When you hire more people and you're investing in more people, you're honestly able to get your time back. You're able to focus on the things that really matter, that's really important. You're not focusing on the little nitty-gritty things that someone else could do for you to help your business. Think about it like this. Let's say if there was a brick and mortar shop. So let's say if it was a cafe. Imagine if the owner was like, no, I'm not gonna hire someone until like I make profit in my business. And they're like, I'm just gonna do everything myself. So I'm gonna make the coffee, I'm gonna deal with all the back end stuff, all the admin, everything else, and I'm basically gonna work the full hours of the cafe. So 5 a.m. all the way to 4 p.m. or it can even be later, whatever the time may be. Can you imagine the stress the owner would be and what would happen if there was lineups? What would happen if there's an issue somewhere? He would have to stop being at the cash, leave that customer that's waiting at the cash, and then go run to the customer table, see what's happening there. That customer that was waiting at the cash would probably leave, most likely. So you have to keep that in mind. What you'll see a brick and mortar would usually do, hands down, is they'll usually hire people beforehand because they're anticipating profit. They're anticipating sales. They're anticipating to grow. They already have that time value mindset. They already have that mindset where they're like, okay, well, we're planning to grow 20 franchises. We're planning to have different locations. So we're going to start it right. We want to give the best customer service as possible. They're focusing on what they really want to offer and they're going all in. They're giving their best. The goal is to make sure that your business has success. And this goes for even if you're not making that many sales, you still want to be tracking your sales. You want to be tracking what you're doing, what's coming in, what's going out. Even if you're not making millions of dollars or thousands of dollars per month, you still want to go in with that mindset where you're like, well, we're in this mindset that we're going to grow long term. You see, when I started, I actually wasn't doing this. I was keeping everything in my mind. And then it came to a point where I was like, well, I don't think I made that much sales today. And then one day I was like, let me just write down everything. And it turns out I was making double than what I thought I made in profit my first 3 months. That really showed me how important it is to be keeping track of things, writing things down, to see it visually. But seeing it visually really helps you to see holes if there is holes. It helps you to see where you're doing good. It helps you to see what's selling and what's currently working. But if everything's up here, it's hard to assess it, especially if there's so much detail. And I found for myself that the more detail I got, so I started out with just doing monthly, then I would go weekly and then daily sales. And when I started doing daily sales, that really set the bar because I got to see how much I was actually making per day. It's a powerful thing. It motivates you. And so it's so important to have your hands in every aspect, every detail of your business. Hire someone. Don't be afraid to hire someone. We all know that we don't want to be a slave to our businesses. We don't want to be slaving away, working away on our business, and then we don't actually have time to enjoy it. Because that was the whole point, I'm assuming, to starting your business. But one of the hardest parts of hiring someone is that people don't realize is that it's actually work. Meaning that you can assume that the person that you hire can read your mind, right? And just do the job and you just show them once and they're good to go. It's one of those things where you have to slow down. What I mean by that is you have to take the time to teach them. You have to have enough patience. So patience when they do mistakes, patience when they're not doing it the way you do. And you have to give them time to develop into their role. You have to know why they're there and they also have to know why they're there. Right? And you have to know, okay, what tasks are you going to give them so they're the most successful and they can get things done that will help you. And here's the thing is that the reason why I tell people to wait to hire someone, the reason why I tell people to wait to hire someone, at least not until you know your exact process, like what exactly you want them for, is because you're going to end up depending on that person to figure it out, right? Figure out what to do. And you don't want that. You want to be able to teach them your way that brings you the most success, right? That will benefit both of you. So it's very important to first do the things yourself so that way you have a realistic perspective, because at the end of the day, they're not a robot, they're a human being. But other than that, like hiring someone for your business can explode your business so much. It's one of the best decisions you can make once you do it right, once you get that right person that will work your business. And I think it's also keeping in mind too, because I think a lot of businesses or product-based owners miss this, is that no one's going to work the business like you do. So you can get the best employee in the world, but you still need to oversee them. You still need to watch what they're doing. You're not micromanaging, but you still need to like check in and have little meetings so that way you're on the same page. No one cares about your business like you do. I don't care what anyone else says. You will give your business the most care. You will roll up your sleeves and work extra hours. Not all employees are like that. Yes, you will get that gem, but we need to keep that in mind that no one cares about your business like you do. The more you delegate, the more you have time to expand and focus on the things that other people just can't focus on, that only you as the visionary can do.